I think our Tupperware bowl fell down. Yeah, that's all oil. That's from pulling that transducer off. That's direct into the pressure line that goes directly back to the tension cylinders, which I just noticed they're collapsed all the way again. And there's no hydraulic power to it, so that's all off temperature doing that for some reason. Yeah, we got smart after making a mess up there and let it off back here. That's where we bleed it to clean the baler out at the end of the year. And this is all of my doing. That's just a oil filter screwed onto a air nipple into a chuck. It's 1/2 inch, by the way. 1/2 inch airline connecting both sides together because the cheap piece of shit breathers they had on those cylinders, all they do is let shit into the cylinder, and the other side, every time you go up and down the ladder, you'd hit it and break it. So we did this years ago, and I can uncouple that and hook an airline to it with a ball valve on it and gently loosen that up so it flows decent, and gently, keyword gently, put air to it and extend those cylinders out to take all the pressure off. There's only a little pressure, because when there's no pressure, right there, focus, is out here. Actually, about here. Both sides and the top come down too. So it's kind of funny that those cylinders are collapsed all the way again, because chrome part of the rod was, or unpainted part of the rod was out to here last night when we were working on it. And it's cooler now than it was then. Makes no sense. Anyway, I must clean up later, but in the meantime, if I can figure something out here and get it fixed cheap and easy, we'll hopefully finish baling with this thing. Otherwise, it's going to get shoved off to the corner, get cleaned up, and we'll finish baling with the other one when we're going to finish baling here with it anyway. I would really much rather bale that stuff over there at the neighbors with this, but you know, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. Things that make you say bad words. Top row. These are all grounds. I think that was right. Yes. Bottom row. These are all positive wires to sensors, transducers. Number 10. Here's where it gets interesting. It's the middle of the freaking loom somewhere. Number 10. Ground for the load arms. Number 12. 12 volt positive for the load arms. Wait a minute. I was thinking it was the other way around. Oh well, either way. I don't think they should be making contact. So it's either going to load arms or something. Going to unplug them and test each wire through and see what happens. Right there's the best way to clean them up. She put that on right before lunch, so you just let it sprinkle on and soak it. And you can hit it with a pressure washer and get everything clean. She did go over there with a pressure washer first, but I mean, you'll be hours trying to get all that stuff off. And then you've seen what we cut since then. It's been a lot of dirt. And I gotta say, for the amount of dirt we were in, trying not to get soaked here. That water's cold. And we're only like 85 degrees today, so I don't need to get wet. It's just, okay, where'd it go? There it is. I can't see anything. That corner is just barely knocked off. It just started around, so those are still like brand new. But I'm going to go out here and see if this here is about ready. If so, we're going to fold that up and unhook it Probably move it so it's out of the way a little more, because I'm going to need that tractor to run the old set of rakes on. I'm not going to do it on a 175 like I did before. You know, moving a few windrows a little bit before isn't bad, but sitting out there for a few hours, nah, I ain't going to do that. Got my pipes, got my probe. I checked the other field over by where the Traveler's sitting, where I knew it'd be a little damper, because that outside round had water coming through from the molehills irrigating the other field. 15.3. A couple rounds in was 8.9. Middle of the field, a little heavier spot with some clover in it, was 12.8, I think. But over by those trees, 24 to 30% in both fields. There's a chunk, should be in the middle of the screen. I can't see the screen. Chunk there I just knocked out of the pipe. It's 8.4 over here, and I kind of thought this might have been the damper part of this field. It's a heavier part. And the funny thing is, I totally expected where the tire tracks are, because every row, since I laid it clear out flat, there's a tire track. Tire tracks are the driest part. Kind of weird. Anyway, I'm going to say, well, I don't know, probably really needs to get turned over there. I'm just trying to figure if we go for it today and then roll that wet stuff in and hopefully it'll dry for tomorrow, or if we wait and do all of it tomorrow. We got a nice breeze right now. Oh, I don't know. She's pressure washing on the mower right now, so should be able to unhook it here in a little bit. Still ain't got the big baler working, but at least I got the two wires to think about. It could be a bad load cell on the arms, on the plunger arms. If it is, I should be able to just unplug the one and still run, maybe. Otherwise it's a wire someplace, or two wires, since they're making contact to each other. Working my way in. I may not be touching both of those, but I was earlier. I got no continuity here. I checked for the hookup up here. Nothing going the other way. But on this one, when I checked this half of the plug, it made noise. This one was fine. I plug this in and check this one where it goes to the front. It screws up. So, if I can do this one-handed, get this little bastard out here where I can get to it. Hear the noise? Bingo. There's a load bar in here, just like you'd have on a log truck or a feed mixer. There's a good one. Fertilizer buggies on the boxes have them. Gravity wagons have them. Some combines have them. When the plunger goes back, it measures the amount of force that's there. Now, in some of the blogs I was reading yesterday, it said if you have a bad one, you can get by with unhooking it and the baler will still work because it's still sensing load on one side. So, if we're right, it should work. At any rate, that's just what I got to. So hey, Pine Sedge Farm. There you go. And I don't even know if these load bars are available anymore.
They're not.
They're, I mean, there's outfits in Portland that, and around that do load bars for trucks and that kind of thing. And they'll use a load bar on a digital scale too. And they can rebuild them on the trucks, so I don't know if this is something we can take in and do that. It may just be a broken wire, so it may be something if I can figure out how to get it apart. Of course, getting it out of here is another story. Because I'm going to guess that thing probably weighs every bit of about 200 pounds. Because it's a very heavy wall tube. And you know, there's no shortness of meat at the ends. And it ain't going to be a fun one to get out anyway. They were replaced shortly before we bought the balers, so, you know, we've got 20-some years on the damn thing. and they were replaced when it was 3 or 4 years old. So.
And the great thing is, that's the one I have trouble getting grease in every time I grease this machine.
Oh, but what she doesn't realize is the front, where it bolts to the pillow block bearing, is the same thing at the back. It's bolted to the bearing. There's a bolting cap screw in here, but those bearings are so freaking tight. They've always been hard to get grease in, but you grease them every day.
And thank you guys for all the birthday wishes and everything. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We do got a truly awesome YouTube family.
We do.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Hey, that's probably going to be the thumbnail.
Probably.
Maybe that one will be.
Oh, God.
At least he recognizes me.
You always get that. It's either me, my ass, or showing too much cleavage. It's never anything in between.
Oh, anyway, I'm going to get out of here because it is hotter than shit up here. Brendan's saying there are 100 degrees up there in Saskatchewan today, and I feel for you, Brendan.
We've been in that.
We were just 103 2 days ago. Yesterday we were like 98.
Still too
And
damn hot.
we've had way too many days.
Okay, but knock on wood, we are done showing it. It was not at fair when it was 115.
Oh yeah, one of the last years the kids showed at the fair.
120.
Scared him. We were wondering why it was so hot. You're in the barn trying to flow water and mist everybody, and there's 10,000 fans running.
And it did not cool off.
And
we had the public coming up to us asking if we could hose them off, and technically we can't.
I mean, they're begging, and God, do you got any water? Can I have the end of your hose for a minute? And one of the kids that was there got a phone call from his grandmother who lives about probably 4 miles west of the fairgrounds, out of town where it might be a little cooler. And she calls in, it's like 2 in the afternoon, and she calls in and says, it's 110 degrees. We don't know what it actually made it to, and the news lies. So anyway, that's enough babbling. I'm coming down. I just taped up both ends of the plugs in there, so dirt and shit can't get in because I don't want to have to clean those plugs later. Monitor works normal. Throws one code. Check 8. Check 8 is there's something wrong with the right load bar. But while I was up here, hitting myself on the trusses, the tarp's in the way, but you can see the beam the door's on. That's 14-foot opening because that's legal height in the state of Oregon. With our slope here, I can't back that trailer in with a load on it. The bale wagon, the tines that hold the bales up that are on top, they stick up to 14.4. Dad pinched the door rails with that once. And combine's even worse than this because honestly, the air cleaner on the combine almost hits coming in. But climbing over the rail, notice I'm not on that yet. I got to stand there to get over. And I am right here. So, rule number 1, you build a shop. You're never going to build it big enough. Trust me. 1982, this was a hell of a nice big shop, 30 by 30. Every piece of equipment we had fit in here. Combine fit in here with the header on and the doors closed. But since then, nothing does. And of course, bigger trucks now. And that's why the tarp is up there, because if a truck's in here, we can pull that over it and put a couple ladders out there and keep it covered. I can remember where I'm walking. I'm going to put the tape away in the shithole of a shop. But your shop height, it's kind of like if you're ever going to run a bale wagon, like our 1075 or a 1048 or any of those, you got to build your hay barn high enough. 20 foot's a really good figure, even for the shop. Bale wagon, as it goes, as the load goes up, the top corner, it requires at least 18 feet to clear unless you leave a couple bales off. We've dumped in less, but you got to leave bales off to do it or go up between rafters. Anyway, I think we're going to go see what this thing will do. I mean, by rights, it should work. I got to close a couple things up yet, open the doors up to get it out of here, but by rights, we should be game on and get it done. Oh yeah, I want to show you this. Here is the original part number, later serial number machine. We got our 2 where that 1 is, so definitely later serial number. So original part number transfers to that one. I can get the part in here in about a week. It's $34.65 plus shipping. And I did find online, I found other outfits said it was genuine Agco parts, $16.95 plus shipping. Usually you'll see it within 1 to 2 weeks. Well, I don't want to wait that long. And yeah, probably should put a little oil back in the tractor too. And for right now, I can't even reach it. Throw that in there. And I'm not going to worry about that oil. I thought we might have had a leak up here, but it was just the rest of the oil that had squirted out. Dry as a bone now. Wiped it off, sprayed her down with some brake clean, and called her good. And that loose chain probably needed some oil anyway, right? So we're going to assume that that little bastard's okay. I did what a lot of guys said to do. Clean it out. Clean it, because if they go bad, they are bad, but it seems like about 9 times out of 10, they're not really bad, they're just got a chunk of shit in them. So we're going to see if we can get something done before dinner, I hope.
Well, we never, ever, ever do this. This tractor is in park, which is a $33.94. I need to nudge him to get it out of park so he can take it home.
Got her.
And he couldn't video. And my rake is broken. We got a bearing out of the big baler. So at least this piece is done. I'll have to get out in video and show you guys what all broke on this thing. But he's gonna head home with that, and I'm gonna head for Ron's house. Park this bitch for the night.
Ain't hanging no flash.
Okay, so this is what the other one's supposed to be like. So we did have a problem. And it's been broke for a while.
We're done. We're home. And that bearing went at the start of the very last bale. It happens. The other one probably went out finishing. I don't know. Makes a hell of a racket when that bearing goes. But anyway, big baling is done. I should have kicked the lever a couple more times. Maybe clean that up more. But last bale is tied. 9 bales in the field, and that's about what I went over there with. So I did a little better than I expected. I'm fine with that. And Ty's got you a couple videos I'll throw at the end here. I'm not sure what she got. I think part of it is we finished up and I put this in park, and that's where it stayed. So she had to give me a little nudge, pull up and give a little push on the weights so I'd get it out of park. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody.